moron! Hey, moron! Dude! Look at me! I'm the waterboard, dude!
Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up the football gods. I got to tell you, I have been I've not been motivated to do much things like going to the freaking grocery store, and I have been without coffee cream, and I can't stand drinking black coffee. Oh my God, it's too bitter. I need to go to the store, get that coffee cream, because it's been about 3 days now, and it just looks like tar, tastes like tar. Coffee is really not that good, but be that as it may. You know what's kind of funny to me is there's an inflation out there when it comes to Dallas Cowboys players. I don't know if you realize this or not. We all look at our guys, and maybe this is because we've heard Stephen Jones always talking about we believe in our guys. And here's what I'm saying. We believe that every player we got is going to be this great player. We go to training camp and things. I go there from time to time, and Law goes there, and Shango goes there, and all of us. It's like it's a religious. It's the football religion that we all do our pilgrimage to watch at training camp. And we'll see guys running around going against our guys, and we'll look at him and we'll say, "This guy's going to be great. He's going to be, and you get sold this with Jerry Jones, that Ryan Fenoy. I just can't wait to see him get his first catch. He's got some Dez Bryant in him." And I'm trying to remember who it was. Really tall guy. Tall wide receiver. But in training camp, he had an Odell Beckham catch in the corner of the end zone. He elevated up there and he grabbed the ball with one hand and pulled him down. And at that moment, you could not tell Cowboy fans that he wasn't going to be a Hall of Famer. He was, oh my God. We heard that Jalen Tolbert and Jalen Brooks, man, these two guys, man, they're incredible. They're literally fighting it out to be the number 2 wide receiver, man. And we believe that they're going to be great. Now, they looked great in practice and in games going against guys of similar talent. And I don't mean any disrespect to any of our players, but we elevate them so much to the point where you believe you got lightning in a bottle. And you know what I'm talking about. I've done it over and over again. Anytime we are so happy when we sign a player that we go through, we find, some good plays and things like that. We find a way of saying how this guy is going to fit in and how he's going to be great with the Cowboys and how he's going to do this much better than what he did elsewhere. And from time to time, Dante Fowler is a good example of that being the case. You could say Robert Quinn, bringing that veteran in, was better than what it looked like his last couple of years. But more times than not, it's not as good as we believe. And I feel like we're getting that right now with Joe Milton, that we're putting expectations out there in the same way we did with Trey Lance. We got sold on, Trey Lance just hasn't had his opportunities. Trey Lance was injured. Trey Lance, this guy was a first-round drafted quarterback, man. He was great, but San Francisco doesn't make mistakes like that. We sold ourselves that Trey Lance was here as leverage to go ahead and make Dak Prescott sign a cheap contract and take his spot, or to get rid of him. Y'all remember that, right? It's what we do. We did the same thing with Andy Dalton. Hell, some people were doing it with Cooper Rush. We don't need Dak. We'll just get Cooper Rush. And that's where we are here with Joe Milton. Now, you can take what Shady McCoy says with a grain of salt, of course, because Shady McCoy is always going to be throwing shade at the Cowboys. But you got the playmaker saying kind of the same thing as well. Let's go here. And I'm going to say, I believe, I don't know for sure, but I want to say that the playmaker is tired of Dak Prescott, that he wants change for change's sake. Because, with Dan Saleo, he had been talking to Dan Saleo and saying that Mike McCarthy's gone. It's going to be getting Dion as the head coach, and they're going to get Shedeur Sanders. That was exactly what he told Dan Saleo. That's now, at least that's what Dan Saleo was saying to us. We've heard Dan Saleo say a lot of things, from it's true about the Cowboys working a trade with Cleveland. Remember that just 2 weeks ago? You remember that, right? So, and I remember him saying, we're going to do a live stream from training camp, too. You remember that, right? Oh, and then he was going to show up for the Eagles game. Oh, I forgot. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so take that with a grain of salt, too. But the playmaker, I think, he's looking for anybody. And I understand it. I understand it. We're tired of waiting for that championship. And we're ready to gravitate and put our trust and hopes and dreams and our focus behind something that'll win. Listen to Playmaker here.
I want to tell y'all about here. I'm at my office here. Whoa. Try not to pay any attention to that. But listen, let me tell you what I just know. Good things are coming. Good things are coming. Everybody's talking about the Joe Milton trade. I want to talk to you guys about that. And that's what I was just, going crazy about. Because if you go back a couple weeks ago, when we were on Speak, I said this. I said, I want the Cowboys in the late rounds to go and draft me a young quarterback. And I want the quarterback to really have an ability to run. Now that we won a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts that is a running quarterback, this is viable now to start working towards. And I'm going to tell you something, this kid they got in Milton is a kid. I mean, he was tearing up the practice squad over there in New England. Everybody loved what he was doing, the kind of work he was putting in. And then I knew he played at Tennessee. I didn't know a whole bunch about him. So I started digging to learn and let me tell you what I learned. We got a good one because I kind of figured this way. As I dug deeper to understand his genesis so I could understand where he ultimately wants to go, I learned this dude was born March 6th. Of course, I was born March 5th. And this dude was born in Pahokee, Florida. This is a March-born Florida. A March-born Florida boy. Oh, no.
I'm not much for March anymore after this past
I know what kind of fight he got in him. I guarantee you this. I guarantee you. Dak looks great. He looks great. Everybody says he's fit. Hey. Don't give this kid a chance, Dak.
Don't give this
kid a chance. From Pahokee, Florida? Born March 6th? No. Don't give him a chance. You better stay healthy, stay ready, stay on the football field. Now remember, you making $60 million a year, $60 million a year. This kid only making $1 million a year. If you give him a chance to get on the field, and he put that Mike Irvin, Florida, March-born stuff out there, it's gonna be ugly. It's gonna get ugly. I'm just telling y'all. I'm just telling you. Wow. And did you hear what I said? Here is the most important thing I said all night. You sitting here focused on what I'm saying about me, and the reality is the most important thing I said all night, is he was tearing up the practice squad.
Tearing up the practice squad.
And you know how hard they practice, and you know the kind of way they practice, and you know what we need here is somebody to tear this ass up around here to get done practicing better. I'm telling y'all, that's the best thing I told y'all. 60 mil for one player, and one player make $1 million. You make 60 a year, he makes $1 million a year. Yeah, that. Don't let this Florida boy get on the field. Don't do it. Don't do it. Well, I couldn't imagine them turning over the Dallas Cowboys to a dude. I almost said so. A dude from Florida.
Okay, so there you have Michael Irvin and his take on Joe Milton and making sure that you don't give him a chance. It would be this. I'll say this would be like Steve Young, who was with Tampa Bay, although he was drafted high and got an opportunity to actually start. But they looked and they said, man, this dog can't hunt. They let him go. He goes to San Francisco. He gets behind Joe Montana for some years and becomes a Hall of Famer. I would love to have that kind of story. I would love to have that kind of story. But I'm not sure. And this is not, the reality is it doesn't matter what you think. You can take and have all the pieces lined up here and say, this guy is going to be a future Hall of Famer. He's a can't-miss draft pick. And usually when they say he's a can't-miss draft pick, I look at it and say, they're going to miss on this one. We've heard generational talents and everything else to come to find out that they can't play. So we'll wait and see how this one goes. But I feel like this is another one of those Trey Lance hype ups. This is another Andy Dalton hype up. This is the Jalen Brooks, Jalen Tolbert hype up that I'm not sure that this is going to be really there. Call me crazy if you want to. But in the end, whether it is Joe Milton or Dak Prescott, the reality is the Cowboys having a one-trick pony of CeeDee Lamb, having hurt tight ends, having really a bunch of guys at wide receiver, and a rotation of running backs of non-proven and over the hill is not a winning formula in the NFL. The bottom line is the Cowboys have to be able to spread the field. And today, you got to have two good wide receivers. A great wide receiver and another one that's really good. And you need a damn tight end that can catch, that can be the security blanket. And you need a threat of a running back that can take it to the house. And if the Cowboys don't get those things, we'll be okay. We'll win some games. But if you're really talking about a championship, you're going to have to get another lights-out receiver. Now, we've talked about this a bit, and we saw Tyreek Hill tweeting out the other day, basically surprised that trade talk is out there. And it's, how can it be a surprise when you literally said to the team, I'm done, I'm out, I'm sick of you biatches. I'm done. The thought is that Tyreek Hill could be had, since he's in the last year of his deal. I believe he's in the last year of his deal, but he's awful expensive. He's $30 million a year. And Miami is in the process of rebuilding. They went out, they got a lot of free agents, they got a lot of help for Tua and things like that, but they've gotten older and they have to try and reload and start over. And the thought is Tyreek Hill could be a piece that could move. And you're beginning to see people with the proposed trades, which, you know, the bottom line is there's not really a whole lot going on right now. And the way you can get people to watch you is you come up with a trade for the Dallas Cowboys, or you say something that's just crazy, like the Cleveland Browns are in contract negotiations for Dak Prescott. You would have never heard of that guy before. I can't even remember his name, but we only talk about him because he came up with some crazy ass shit. So the thought is, here's one of these proposed trade ideas for fun, would be draft day, a 3rd round, and a 5th round. The Cowboys have 10 picks in the upcoming draft, but fans are beginning to wonder if some of those picks would be better spent on an established veteran talent. And for me, and this is where last night was really fun, I've learned something. It's crazy to me, okay? Very rarely do you see me on other people's channels, right? You don't. And, I see everybody collaborating together, seeing J-Tuck and DMV and Boss Cowboys, all of them going together and things. And very rarely does anybody say, hey, Mark, would you like to be part of it? And I always wondered why. And it seems like people think for whatever reason, Boss Cowboy is kind of like putting me like I'm up here, that you can't talk to that guy. And it's like, get the F out of here. I ain't nobody. I am just Joe the fan that's just been here talking for a long time. And so it was great last night doing a show with Boss Cowboy and OG and talking to them about Cowboys and giving them my ideas. I'm so far behind on draft picks and things. You all know what I'm going through and things right now. I'm literally losing my mind knowing that I have to do the eulogy for my father, and I don't think I can get through it without crying my eyes out and trying to summarize 59 years of knowing somebody into a few minutes is going to be hard. So draft picks and things have been on the side burner for me. But I enjoy doing work with others and bouncing my old school thoughts and things off of them. But the proposals out here and looking at this for trade days is, if you're talking about a 3rd round pick, I don't know if you're going to be able to find a receiver, because we've gone through with Jalen Tolbert and of course the Michael Gallups and things, is you're going to get somebody out the box that's going to be able to give you that oomph like that. It's going to cost you a whole bunch of money. This would literally be making a short-term investment in hopes of getting lightning in a bottle. But what it would do for this offense is, for me, and after seeing Schoonmaker and things, and he's beginning to stay healthy, and hopefully Jake Ferguson is 100% healthy, can you imagine if you had 12 personnel? 12 personnel. And let's say somehow, some way, Austin Gentry falls to the Cowboys, or we get one of the other top running backs. Put that guy in the backfield, single backfield. Jake Ferguson, Schoonmaker out there. Tyreek Hill on one side, CeeDee Lamb on the other. What do you do as a defense? What do you do? They got 7 blockers there and a premier back. Are you going to put 8 men in the box to stop them? If I'm Dak, I can go empty backfield. I can put him in motion. I can shift Ferguson out. I can go 5 wide with 8 men in the box. I'm going to have mismatches all over the field. Boom, quick hitter. If they don't put 8 men in the box, fine. Ferguson, Schoonmaker, guys are going to block. I got numbers. And that's the way you have to play football. We can't be a team like we used to be, where we just had better talent than everybody else and we could just maul people. In today's football, you got to get the mismatches and things. So that's what I've got for you this morning. I've got to go over and meet the minister, so I've got to get this short. But this is, I'm going to weigh back in with Rich Eisen on the way out the door as they basically clown us for the Micah Parsons deal and talk about Joe Milton. Again, Joe Milton, I think we need to just start calling him Joe Montana at this point.
You were in a hat and drinking some fruity drinks when this news broke the other day.
What does this mean?
What? I'm just saying what you were doing.
Drinks.
By the way, the fruity drink I was drinking in my rakish hat, chock full of rum. Okay,
Okay, good. I'm happy.
Yay
I'm
for rum.
glad to hear that.
All right.
Rich, the Dallas Cowboys have a new quarterback. I don't know if you've heard.
Yes.
Your man, Smoking Joe Milton, is going from New England
It's not my man.
to Dallas. Is he the new QB1?
Okay. Two things.
For America's
Two
team?
things
What
to
are we
hit here.
doing?
By the way,
Two
can I
things to
interrupt
hit
real
here.
quick?
You have
Yes.
got to be smoking something over there this morning.
Last
Yeah.
week you were gone when we were saying he was hyping Joe Milton. He was saying that you were the one who was hyping Joe Milton.
Excuse me. You say he's my guy. He's your guy. He's the one that came up with one of the most significant wins in recent Patriots history.
Yeah, but significant for the wrong reason. like the Pats would be number one on the clock right
that
now.
Week 18 win. If on the opening night of the draft, you are looking at the clock that's ticking with the Patriots logo on the screen, and Abdul Carter is gone, Travis Hunter is gone, and Cam Ward is gone, and the Patriots are sitting there 4th overall on the clock. This is definitely a guy's name I will be bringing up on NFL Network for sure. Hey, at least you got the W from Joe Milton. So now,
Thank God for that.
no, but I listen. I told you guys coming out from the combine that the all out from the Cowboys this year would be on most of their own free agents. Cooper Rush being one of them, I guess. And so they needed a backup. Trey Lance is now a neighbor across the way with
He
a $6
is.
million 1-year deal to back up
Way too much money.
Justin Herbert. So this guy is as good a choice as any to be your backup quarterback because
Yep.
he can win you games against the Buffalo Bills when you least need it.
The Bills' third string players.
Oh, okay.
With a coach who was a dead coach walking and knew it.
Didn't know it at the time.
Eh.
I don't think anybody knew it. Come on, you're going to bring this up and you don't think I'm going to take my shot at you?
No, I get it.
Okay.
Come on.
I was waiting for
But
this all
here's
weekend.
here's the latest thing. Here's the latest thing.
No, okay.
The Dak slander
Oh, it's
is beyond the pale.
started already.
It's been beyond
It's
for years now.
beyond the pale. But let's get Dak out there. Let's get him efficient. Let's get him healthy, and let's get you some wins. Let's get you some weapons. Let's get you somebody out there for this team to start winning games with Dak, because you're certainly paying premium for him. Nobody's come close to the 60 million mark for the quarterbacks.
Nope.
And I don't think Purdy's going to scratch that surface either.
And he's not going anywhere. He's
Okay.
got the most ironclad contract in the history of contracts.
Which is the latest
Dak's
thing.
untradeable.
The comments that Jerry Jones made from the owners' meeting last week, where he was clearly bristling at all the criticisms he gets for not signing players soon. He doesn't sign them right away. We talk about it all the time here, and I think rightfully so. And I guess I'm part of the chorus because he's heard it. And he said that he's still not. He and Micah are talking together. I guess, DeMarcus Ware said that he lights a votive candle in his office and he sits you down and he cuts the agent out. I believe Jerry made it sound like that's where they've reached that point with Micah Parsons
Yeah,
right
he
now.
definitely didn't have good things to say about his agent.
Well, that it's just him and Micah, but he also said he doesn't need to sign him.
Yeah, you're right. You don't need to.
Right.
But
he's going to have to. It's going to happen in the same way that Dak got signed and CeeDee Lamb had to. What does he need to see? Less podcasting, more sacks? Is that what he needs to see? Like, what else do you need to see from Micah Parsons to pay
I'd
him?
like to know.
Unless you feel like he is not the right fit for your organization and your locker room and your brand. I don't see that from him. The rumblings you hear out of Dallas is that he's ruffled feathers with his podcasting. That, when Tank Lawrence went to Seattle and shot right back across the bow back at Micah Parsons, when he said he needed to leave because they are not winning a Super Bowl there in Dallas. And it did sound like a grape was sour. And his family's there. He probably wanted to retire there. The Cowboys were not interested in having that happen. He had to go to Seattle, and he took a shot at the team, and Micah took a shot back at him, and he's basically like, stop podcasting and sack people. Was his general mention.
But he does.
So, but the question is, if you have a problem with that, is that why you're not signing him? Like, what we're going to have another Luka on our hands? Like, I don't want to give you the max because there's some long-term concerns I have. Is that what's happening?
Could be.
I don't get it. But hey, at least you got a backup quarterback in Joe Milton who can win you some games if Dak gets hurt. That is for sure.
How do we know that? How can we say that?
Again, I'm with TJ here. How do we know that? Patriots Twitter over the weekend was like, you thought they traded Tom Brady after 3 Super Bowl wins.
Cooper was not happy.
They're like, this guy's a really good backup. Really good backup? Really? He played 3 quarters against third stringers.
Second stringers.
A team literally trying to lose, so you don't have the number. The Bills. The Bills did not care one iota about winning that game.
They tried.
Your head coach was a dead coach walking.
I thought he was going to coach stronger.
Basically throughout the game plan.
I thought Joe Milton's got a big arm.
That's
He's got
it.
a heart.
That's it. That's all we know.
We've seen it.
He throws it. You're just getting me riled up. He literally can throw it 80 yards, and he runs fast.
We'll never forget the Joe Milton game.
No, I won't, because it cost them the number 1 pick.
And 17 days from now, I might be mentioning it ad nauseum during a 15-minute window.
You're getting muted.
Well, you need a lot to talk about, so it helps.
Very good.
We don't know that he's a really good backup. We don't know that.
I told Coop, I'm like, listen, man, if you're thinking the Patriots are less than for trading away Joe Milton, that means Drake May's not working out or he's hurt, and you don't want either.
And the report was that they didn't want him around when they opened camp today. So I get it. He had to go. And they were doing him a solid because he wanted to go to Dallas or whatever. Great. Who cares? You got a free 5th-round pick.
Catch the Rich Eisen show live.
Wow. Great. You got yourself a 5th-round pick. All righty, good people. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys, and I hope you all have a great day. And I am out of here. Peace.